See, I did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 94 Feet. Kade Cameron, Danny Stepanovich as usual. Danny, we'll just keep it plain and simple. The first question, how you doing today?
Pretty good, kid. Pretty good.
Hey,
Glad to be
real quick, am I standing all right? Because I kind of hit my microphone as I was getting into
here.
it,
You
but
fine. You're
okay,
good.
sounds good. All right, yeah, get back into it. My bad.
Pretty
You
good.
doing good?
Hey. Ooh,
Are you doing good, Danny?
I'm hearing an echo. Is that just me?
Yeah, I know. That's what I hear too. Hold up, because shoot, we'll roll with it. Is that better now?
I think
Is that
so.
better? We got it. Okay, cool. Okay, now we got it. I'll start it off. Danny, how you doing today? Danny, are you doing good, my guy?
Bro, I'm hearing the echo. Is
You
that
still?
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Any chance you could just like get past it or no?
I can push through. It's all good.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. How you doing today, Danny?
Pretty good. Hey, carry the show real quick. I'm gonna get some headphones.
Okay, sounds good. So we're keeping it pretty simple today. First off, I'm going to call out Danny on what he's wearing. He's got a very special hat on today that I kind of want to get people's opinions on. After that, keeping it pretty simple. We're not going to get too much into fashion today, just focusing strictly on the NBA, kind of continuing with that preview that we've been talking about. As we go into part two of the 2022 top 50 players, should be a good one today. We'll be going through 50 through 40 or 40 through 31. And yeah, I mean, keep it simple. We'll get right into it. Danny, how you doing better, Danny?
Okay, we're good. We figured it out. I just had to call you, Kate. I don't know what's going on with my audio. I still got to fix that. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. All right. No, so first off, I was gonna say I'm gonna call you out real quick. Danny, can you just kind of mess up your hair a little bit? Show us what you're wearing.
Hey,
You think it's a
here's
fitted,
a little messy. Hold on.
and then you turn it around, you got the snapback.
Pink
Shoot,
brim.
hey,
The
pink brim.
brim's
I
faded.
respect that. The pink brim goes hard. I can't go wrong with that. I need to get one with the pink brim, But I was gonna say, I mean, the snapback, Danny. Why'd you go with the snapback?
Hey, kid, I needed a black hat. My Pirates was a little sweaty. I got the sweat stains going on the Pirates hat, so I picked up a fitted. Kate, it's only $40 compared to 55. You can't I'm
Okay,
trying to
I'll
save
give you
money
that
on
one.
here.
Hey, and
Right?
even then, you just throw on the hoodie, nobody's gonna be able to tell. So I think you can probably pull it off. I think you can get away with it.
Thank you.
All right, shoot. Then I had to call you out right there, but let's just kind of get into it. 40 through 31 on that list. Obviously, we went through 50 through 41. Some controversy on both sides for us. But now we're kind of getting closer and closer to that final part of getting to the top 10. But again, I'm expecting to be very similar to last time, just kind of having a very different looking list right here. But we're just going to get right into it. Danny, who do you got at number 40 on your
Oh
list for
God.
top 50 players?
Okay. Coming in at 40, Kate, I feel like you had him lower. I feel like he wasn't even in your top 50. I'm going with CJ McCollum. He's still a top 10 shooting guard in the league, in my opinion, maybe even top five. He averaged 22 points per game last season. Zero all-star appearances, but he's averaged 20 points per game over the last 8 years. He's shown that he can be a number two on a good team. We've seen how many times he's been to the playoffs with Damian Lillard as a solid number two. Not too many options other than Lillard. Now he's a 2/3 option with Bi and a Zion. There's more scoring options on the Pels. I see this Pels team as a 5 seed ish, and I think CJ's a top 40 player.
No, see, and that's the thing is that like I put him on my top 50. I just put him at 49 because I felt, in my opinion, he's going to be that third option this year. I think Zion's going to come back. He's going to have a good year if he stays healthy, which I think this is the year where that's going to happen. I think if we're going into the regular season without any issues, I think he's going to be able to carry that momentum throughout the way too, which is kind of weird to say carry momentum with an injury, but I think he'll be able to kind of stay healthy this season. And then seeing the way Brandon Ingram played and led that team back in the playoffs last year, I feel like he's going to be that very obvious two option. So that's part of the reason why I have CJ McCollum as low as I did, because he's going to be that third option for the Pelicans. But I don't disagree with you. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. That age might be showing a little bit, but at the same time, he's going to be part of a team that does look to make a deeper playoff run, considering that they only made it to the first round last year. And I think there's a good possibility that I'm not sure if I'll be willing to say 5, but I think you could possibly sneak them in there at a 6 or something. I mean, playing seems a little more reasonable, but again, that's a
Okay.
possibility. So again, I don't disagree with that pick having him at 40. I just think that with that Pelicans roster this year, he's going to be that third option.
I agree
For
with that.
my
Okay.
40,
I'm glad you had him at 49.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I still had him up there. But for my 40, I think this is gonna be a little bit of a controversial one, but I feel like given the fact that if he stays healthy, he's gonna be one of the better players in the league. Those back issues been giving him a lot of issues, but I'm gonna go Michael Porter Jr. I think again, you look at that Nuggets team and kind of similar to the way I was discussing CJ McCollum, he's a guy that's going to be that third option behind Jokic and Murray. But Michael Porter Jr. and the times that he's been able to play in the league this year, he's been flashing some really good numbers. So I think as of now, I mean, looking at the list of people I have in front of him, a lot of it comes down to health. A lot of it comes down to where they are in their own rosters. But at this point, I think Michael Porter Jr. is a guy where I think he's going to be able to make that a very big impact as the third option on his team.
He's not quite yet on my top 50. He definitely has the potential. Coming off an injury, like you mentioned, Kate, he last year was the first time they were expecting him to start. He wasn't coming off the bench, and he put up a mediocre 10 points per game in only 9 games. He got injured. We still haven't seen it quite yet, but in a year from now, I won't be surprised if he's a top 30 player.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I
like
mean,
I said, not quite yet on my top 50.
No, I get that. I was going to say those, I mean, for back injuries, that's something that's going to continue to come up again and again. So if he can kind of keep that on the down low and actually be like get to a position where he's playing, honestly, 40, 50 games, I mean, that Nuggets team is going to be looking very scary this upcoming season, especially with Jamal Murray back. Jokic obviously playing at an MVP caliber for the past 2 years. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And that's, I mean, we talked about it last week, how the fact that, personally, in my opinion, I think the Suns might be right around the 5, 6, somewhere around there. I know you don't like it, but again, the Nuggets are one of those teams that were at the 6 last year because they only had Jokic to be able to carry them. Jamal Murray was still out. Michael Porter was still out. Those are 2 very valuable players that you need. And now you're looking at the Nuggets. I think Nuggets looking at a top 3 seed right now if Murray and Porter both stay healthy.
I love that take. I
See,
100%
it's not
agree
bad.
with that.
That's what I'm saying is that it's going to be a good season for the West. All right,
But
hold up.
Little devil advocate. You said CJ, he's not in your top 40 because he's a third option. MPJ, he's a third option.
Yeah, okay, but also you're right. But what I'm saying is that MPJ isn't higher, just in the same sense that CJ McCollum isn't higher because they're that third option. They're still kind of low on that list, but and even
true.
then, at this point, I'd still give MPJ the nod over CJ in the sense that he's got the youth, he's got the ability to still play at a very high. He hasn't hit that ceiling yet, so that's why I have him above CJ right now. We'll hit 39 right now, Danny. Who is your 39th overall player entering the 2022 season?
This might seem kind of low, but I'm going Klay Thompson. I know he averaged 20 points per game last year, but that was only in a small sample size, obviously coming off an injury. And he had the lowest 3-point percentage of his career, shooting 38%. In the finals, 17 points per game on 38 minutes. Not quite the scorer and defender he used to be, but they just want a chip, so I feel like I have to throw him in here. So I felt like 39 is a fair spot to put Klay at.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think realistically, it is kind of coming down to the end of not the end of his career, but his peak is starting to come down right there. So I think this is going to kind of see that slow trend of going farther and farther down that list in time. But yeah, as you mentioned, he's still such a pivotal role on that Warriors team. He's a fantastic player overall, able to still shoot. I mean, he's one of the Splash Brothers for a reason. It's just his ability to shoot the ball so well. So I don't disagree with that.
Is he in your top 50?
I'm not gonna lie. I did not put him in my top 50.
Okay.
And again, it might just be because of recency bias from his performance in the finals. I think that has to maybe play a part in it. Just because again, we've seen him be so dominant over these past few years that seeing him kind of play in the finals that way, it's a little scary. But he could definitely. I mean, you look at it. I think you could have him as 51 on my list, and not saying that he couldn't be higher. I'm just saying that. I think this year is going to be that big step back, not a big step back, but just a step back for him. That's going to be this kind of towards the back end of his career. So again, not a bad take though. I mean, Klay Thompson, overall fantastic player. Can't go wrong with it. I'm going with the guy a little bit different, but in a similar situation as well, or not similar situation, but different guy. coming out of Cleveland. A guy that I'm pretty sure he made the All-Star team last year. I might have to recheck that one, but I'm going Darius Garland. I think he's going to put himself in a position where he's going to be able to just put up much better numbers, especially now. I mean, I made this list before the Donovan Mitchell trade, but now you look at putting a guy like Donovan Mitchell in there, giving him those options. I think that might just boost his stock even more. So Darius Garland, he was an All-Star. So an All-Star last year. I think he's going to continue to play really well for that Cavs team with Jared Allen, a guy that you have on your top 50. Evan Mobley, a guy that I haven't gotten to yet, but he's on my top 50. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell. He's going to be a very important piece in a team that has a possibility now to be a very big contender in the East.
Okay, hey, let's just say we'll talk about him in a little bit on my list.
Yeah, see, okay, so at least we have him somewhat close. Not too much of a debate there. 38. Again, we're going to kind of go through this quick, but yeah, 38. Let's hear it.
Okay, I'll go with 38, Jaren Jackson. This is the first year we finally saw him healthy. Kade, and what happened? The Grizzlies are a 2 seed. He led the league in blocks. He was the anchor for the 4th rated defense in all of the league. The only reason why I don't have him higher is that he needs to contribute more on the rebounding side. He doesn't quite have that big body, boxed out. I'm gonna grab that rebound mentality. He can't stay out of foul trouble. It seems like he was 3rd most in personal fouls like last year. So he only ended up playing 27 minutes per game. I'd like to see that jump up to 32 minutes per game. Less fouls, more rebounds, and I can see him higher on this list. But right now, I have him slide at 38.
Danny, I'm not gonna lie, you might be mad at me about this one, but I disrespected Memphis so bad here. I feel Ja Morant's like the only one I think I might have on this list. I know there's so many great players coming out of it. I just feel like I don't know. I couldn't get myself to do it.
You don't believe him? You don't believe in him, so?
It's not that I don't believe in them. I just feel like they haven't made enough of a name for themselves to really get there. And I understand last year they got to the second. They were the second overall seed in the West, but I don't know. I feel like that team is just so heavily headlined by Ja Morant that they almost get overshadowed and don't get that same recognition. That
led the league in blocks.
I know. Yeah, I know too. That's the only issue. Don't get me wrong. I think I should have definitely put him on there, but again, like I said, I mean, looking at it, I mean, I'd probably have him a little lower still. I maybe put him right around the 43, 42 mark. But still, again, like I said, I mean, again, I don't know what it is. I disrespect Memphis so much. So if there's any Memphis fans listening, I'm sorry. You're not going to be hearing any
you're not a believer,
guys. I guess not. All right, we're at 38. 38, I'm going, God, you could maybe put him up higher on this list too. He was a guy that put together such a fantastic season last year. I mean, just the numbers this guy was putting up for the month of February were amazing. But oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I take that back. Not different guy, but still putting up fantastic numbers throughout the season. He's going to be a guy that has mad hops, contributes to the Chicago Bulls in a very good way. I'm going Zach LaVine. That number 2 option with Chicago. You can definitely make the argument that he can be a little bit higher there, but I gave the nod to his teammate. And we'll be talking about him next episode. But yeah, I think as of now, Zach LaVine, I think he's a pretty good, solid in the 38 spot.
Wow, Kade. If you're ranking shooting guards, he might be number 3. How can you have the 3rd best shooting guard at a 38 spot?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Okay. I want to hear this real quick. Who are the other 2 that you put ahead of him?
Shooting guards, you got to go D Book and Donovan Mitchell, and then LaVine, and then Beal, and then Chris Middleton.
Ooh, right? I might put. I don't know. I might put Beal above LaVine.
Beal over LaVine. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll even admit too that we'll talk about him a little bit later. I mean, I do want to preface this too. I think this is just 100% focusing on this upcoming season. Yeah. I 100% respect LaVine, but I just don't. I think there's going to be other players that come out better this season. Because I'll be honest with you, I have Chris Middleton above him right now too.
Okay.
And it's just, again, I don't like. I think Chris Middleton. Oh, we'll get to that later on. But yeah,
defensive
I got Zach
impact.
LaVine.
Okay, I can't be too mad.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, we'll put Zach LaVine 38 right now. Again, a fantastic player overall. But again, and again, it might just be a little bit of some bias there as well because I feel like DeMar DeRozan was the one getting a lot of that notice in Chicago this past year, especially because of the way he played in February. But again, Zach LaVine, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to get it just very well. I mean, he's got the hops, he's got the playmaking ability on the as a shooting guard. He's got the height for him as well, which obviously is a big help. So again, like I said, Zach LaVine, 38. Like I think that's solid. You know, like I said, I mean, we'll kind of get through it a little bit later.
Okay.
Chris Middleton, Bradley Beal, I put him ahead of him as of now, but yeah, it's plain and simple.
All right. You talked about Chris Middleton at 37. I'm going with his teammate Drew Holiday. I feel like this is a fair spot for him. Last year, when Middleton went down, he didn't really step up in that series versus Boston. 21, 6 and 6. Not crazy stats. You kind of want a 25 points, 26 points per game out of your number two. That's why he's not, a top 25 player for me, but still a great three option. He's going to guard the best guard on the other team on defense. He's going to hustle every night. He's going to get you 2 steals a game. He's at 37 for me.
Yeah, that's not a bad take. And I'll be honest with you, up until we get to maybe the top 10, this might be the closest we have a player together on this list because, I've got him in the 30s as well. You'll see very soon where I've got him. And no, I 100% agree. Drew Holiday is a guy that's going to be able to get it done, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I don't think, at least in recent memory, I don't think I've seen a guy make more just such impactful defensive stops than Drew Holiday. And then on top of that as well, when you got the help like Chris Middleton and Giannis, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to do it very well on both sides of the court. The one thing I did mention during the playoffs this year is that I feel like with the Milwaukee Bucks, when you don't have Chris Middleton, or if you've obviously got Giannis going for you, past Giannis, you either just need Middleton going or Holiday going, and that's one of those positions where once you get those guys going, it's going to be able to work out for that Milwaukee Bucks team. So I actually have both Middleton and Holiday very close together on this list for that reason.
Okay.
But I mean, Drew Holiday is a guy that's going to be able to again give it to you anywhere on the court, and I do not disagree with this pick at all. So that's good. For me at 37.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would say a similar playing style in a sense. A guy out of Boston, a guy that we saw. We had a little bit of controversy a few months back about this guy, but I'm going Jaylen Brown. Are you looking at that like it's a little low?
That sounds kind of low. We still might be disagreeing. Okay, the number 2 option on the team that just went to the finals?
Number 2 option, but even then, the inconsistent. I mean, again, fantastic fourth quarter guy, but the inconsistencies are there. That's the only reason I'm keeping him lower than that. But at the same time, I mean, he's a fantastic defensive player. He can shoot the ball very well. He's going to be able to drive, be able to get you to the basket, draw a few fouls every once in a while. Jaylen Brown, again, I mean, the only reason, again, why I have him lower is because of the inconsistencies he has on offense. Other than that, I could see him being much higher on this list. I mean, you could possibly argue top 20 on this list if he's a more consistent shooter. But again, it just those inconsistencies there. And then even then, I'll even take this. I'll even say that with this Boston Celtics team in general, you're going to see him take a step back when it comes just to the defensive side of the ball. Like, I mean, they had a fantastic defense last year. I don't think that you're going to see those same numbers this year. It'll be similar. They'll be up there still, but I think they're going to take that step back defensively. So,
I mean, all they did was get better in the offseason. All they did was add Malcolm Brogdon, keep all their players, keep Rob Williams, Marcus Smart. They didn't trade JB for, KD. Kade, they might be running this back. And Kade, hold on. Let me ask you this. You said you'll call JB a star if they win the finals. They did not win the finals. Are you calling him a star?
I mean, that's tough because he definitely, I mean, don't get me wrong. There were definitely some of those games that he put up some stats that were fantastic.
He was the best player for the Celtics in the finals. You can't deny that. Over Tatum.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one. I think, realistically, just he wasn't the most consistent, but when he played well, that team won. So I'll give you that one right there. It's difficult. I'm not going to lie because I want to say he is, but at the same time, I feel like, again, he just hasn't done what he needs to do to say that he's fully a star at that point. I mean, I'll go far enough to say he's not a role player. I mean, he's not going to be a guy that goes out there
okay.
But saying he's a star, he's reliable. That's what I'll say. He's reliable. So he's a guy that you're going to want to have on your team. So again, Jaylen Brown, I think that team in itself is going to kind of take a step back defensively a little bit, not too much, but no, I still think that he's a fantastic player, but I think it's just the fact that he's so his inconsistency stopped him from being higher on this list.
Okay.
All right, let's
All
hit 36,
right.
Danny.
36K. This is a guy we kind of got into last show. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know. I felt like he was too low on your list. Every year since he's been in the league, he's increased his points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game. He hasn't really translated to wins yet, but he hasn't really had a reliable 2, 3, 4, or a 5 option. Really, he hasn't played with anyone, better than Josh Giddey, who isn't even a score first player on the Thunder. But they re-signed Lou Dort. Giddey had a solid rookie year. Unfortunately, Chet went down. Maybe 2 years down the line is OKC's time to shine. But in my opinion, Shai, 24 points per game. He's a 36th best player in the league.
See, I like again, it kind of comes down to the fact that I just feel like we've talked about in the past, just the ability to win and whatnot. He hasn't been putting his team in a position where Oklahoma City's winning, despite the fact that he's putting up such good points. Obviously, as you mentioned, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, got two guys that are going to be able to help benefit that Oklahoma City team. But again, it's Shai's playing a one-man game in a sense where I feel like it's just supposed to be. I don't know if this makes sense, but he's playing a one-man game in a team sport. And I feel like that's what's kind of holding him back a little bit. He puts up stats, but I mean, I'll even throw it out there for a little bit too. And I'll in a sense, give him that Devin Booker treatment that when the Suns were just a very poorly ran team and just playing really bad, Devin Booker was still putting up stats, but nobody gave him the recognition he deserved. And realistically, I can completely understand the reasoning why, because he was unable to win. Again, he was putting up good stats, but again, that emphasis on trying to win was the important part for why people weren't recognizing his game. And I'll admit that's what I'm doing here with Shai, but I mean, that's kind of where I put him that low.
Okay, so in 2 years from now, Chet comes back. They're gonna have another top 3 pick. If they're in if they're in the playoff mix, 6th seed, you gonna give Shai his respect?
Oh, if Shai's putting up the same stats in 2 years and they're in the playoff mix, I'll put him top 15.
Thank you.
Give him.
All right, that's all I have to hear. I'll take that.
I'll get him up there. Don't get me wrong. I just, again, like I said,
and you're not giving him bonus points for being the best dressed in the league, kid. No.
I see. That's true. I kind of forgot about that. Ooh. We'll have to see how things go 2 years down the line.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Who you got at 36?
36. I think you can maybe make the argument this is maybe a little bit too low for this guy. You can maybe even make the argument this is too high for this guy. I remember last year was Evan Mobley coming away with the Rookie of the Year award, but I think this guy, realistically, in my opinion, I think he was a more dominating player, played better, he's got a little more style. And I got Scotty Barnes right here at the 36th spot. Ooh. I think he's a fantastic player overall. I think he's going to be able to excel, especially in a place like Toronto, where he's going to have the help of Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam there. And I mentioned it in the last episode, I put Fred VanVleet at 45, and I think the reason being is the fact that he's a fantastic guard, but he's kind of competing for that 2 spot with Scotty Barnes in this situation. And I think it's true. I think they are going to be competing for that 2 spot. Because I think Scotty Barnes is going to take a massive step forward, and he's going to be a fantastic player for that a playoff Toronto team.
Okay, coming off Rookie of the Year, he's not in my top 50 just yet. We haven't seen him really. Okay, maybe we have seen him as a established 3, but he's not quite there yet for me. I definitely see the potential though, so I'm not too mad at this, even though I think it's a little high.
And that's what I'm saying too, is that you could have him. I mean, you can make the argument that he's higher. I don't think it's a strong argument, but you can make that argument. And of course, obviously, you can make the argument that he's lower. I mean, he can kind of fall anywhere on that list and honestly work out,
Okay, I didn't know you might be high on the Raptors next year, Kade.
They were a good team last year. They ran into a strong Sixers team in the playoffs, but I think that they got some good potential, especially.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I guess that doesn't really apply anymore. But yeah, okay. Danny, let's hear 35 for you.
35, someone who went from the West to the East and who I think is going to be better than the Raptors this year. That's DeJounte Murray on the Atlanta Hawks last year, 2022 steals leader. in my opinion, one of the best two-way guards in the league. Offense, defense, he's going to give it his all on both sides of the floor. Similar to Shy, every year since he's been in the league, he's increased his points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. So we really don't even know if he's in his prime just yet. Last year, 21, 9, and 8, almost a triple double with 2 steals a game. The only bright spot on the Spurs last year, and now he's the 2 option on a team ready to go on a finals run. We'll see what he can do, and I'm banking that they're going to be a top 5 seed next year in the East.
All right, real quick, I gotta ask because I got him on my list as well, but I want to know what stops you from putting him a little higher there.
Okay, you have him higher than.
I do, yeah, and it's because I feel like he played very well last year in San Antonio. I think again, like I said, it does come down to the fact that he was playing in San Antonio. I mean, a team that made the play-in, right? If I remember correctly.
No. All right, were they the 10 seed? They might have been the 10 seed.
Yeah, I think they were because I remember them playing.
I think they just missed it.
They beat or they lost to New Orleans in that 10 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I feel like in a sense a kind of similar situation as you mentioned to Shy, just not being able to play on a really high efficiency team. Now going to Atlanta,
yeah.
I'm gonna say he's gonna have that help with Trae Young, and then on the flip side of it, again, I feel like the one justification I have for my entire list is the fact that this is just prediction going into 2022. Anything could really happen and whatnot. And again, that's part of the reason why I think I got him higher. Not much higher, but just a little higher.
Okay, yeah. I'll say real quick, he's not higher on my list just because he gets traded to the Hawks. I don't think they're a set, top or finish for the 4, 5, 6 range. DeJounte Murray takes them to the next step, but they're still not better than the Bucks. They're still not better than what's another top seed? Maybe the Heat, the Nets.
Heat.
So
you can.
I don't think you can throw the Cavs in there. I don't think he takes them above the edge like some other superstars would. So that's where I feel like 35 is a good spot for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can almost make the argument that he's in that position like Jaylen Brown, or at least for me, in that position like Jaylen Brown, where it's like,
okay,
he's going to go to any team. He's going to be able to help. He's going to be reliable. He's going to be a guy that is going to be able to put up points for you and help you win. But just looking at him as from his past season, yeah, he's not really in a position where he's going to be able to truly make the difference on your team. So I agree with that. I mean, like I said, I have him a little higher, but we'll get into that another time. All right, we're not going to get into my 35 too much because we've already talked about him. Drew Holiday, again, just real quick, I can get it done on both sides of the floor, both sides of the court. I mean, some of the most well-known defensive plays over the past few seasons. He's going to be able to really help that Milwaukee Bucks team get to a position where they are real contenders for the East this year. So yeah, like I said, nothing much to say right there. Just Drew Holiday at my 35.
Sounds good. Let's go on to my 34. Kate, I don't know if this is a hot take. I'm going with Ben Simmons. I don't know how high you have him. If he's even on your top 50.
Oh, I may have put him. Let me check real quick. I was thinking about it, but I don't think I put him on here.
Okay, so maybe I'm too high on him, but he's still a 3-time All-Star. The last time we saw him play, he made an all-defensive first team. Not the craziest stats, 14, 7, and 7. He still has free throw demons, but he hasn't played in 2 years. Maybe he's improved his jump shot. Maybe he's improved his 3-point shot. We'll see. This is, a big prove-it year for Ben Simmons. But I still think he has the defensive talent. He can guard 1 through 5. The last time we saw him healthy on that Sixers team 2 years ago, Kate, they were a 1 seed. So it still matters, right? That's why I had to put him somewhere on this list.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely understand. I think the 2 things, if I remember correctly when I was putting this list together, the 2 things that really stopped me from getting him on here was the fact that he has played no basketball over the past season, been very just not doing much realistically, and now he's going to a Nets team that you can maybe make the argument is pretty toxic. So we'll have to see if he's actually going to be able to really show his full potential. I think it's just a kind of weird situation for him, and that's kind of the reason why I didn't put him up there. it's weird because it's like you're right. He does have that potential. He does have that ability to make plays happen. Defensively, he's one of the best players in the league. But at the same time, it's just that the lack of play and playing in a place like Brooklyn, where again, there's just so much uncertainty. I just I really don't know where he's going to end up this season, and it's hard to put him on that list as of now, considering the everybody on my list has played very consistently over the past 2 seasons. So again, I can't disagree with you there, but at the same time, I can't agree with you as well. Yeah, exactly. Oh well, yeah, we'll see. All right. So for my 34, and again, I think you're gonna hate me for this one. But he's gonna be a big that's realistically been very reliable for this team for a long time, or at least since he's joined the league. He was the number one overall pick in 2018. He's a guy. Let's say he's a guy that definitely shouldn't have been number one overall, but he's still I still think he's got a lot of potential. He's shown that potential. Um, and he's a guy that made money this offseason. I got to go with DeAndre Ayton here. Again, I know it's a weird one, but here's the thing: is that as of now, I mean, he's still putting up. He wasn't necessarily. I feel like going into the league, everybody was expecting him to be a much more dominant center, similar to a guy like Joel Embiid. I mean, he was supposed to go out there. He was supposed to be just that big physical presence in the paint. Really, just be a realistically just dominate in the painted area. I feel like he's just kind of been lazy since he's joined the NBA. And I'm thinking that now, since he's getting paid, he's going to be expected to do a lot more now. I think he's going to be able to put, again, just that reliability of being a big time center on his back. Um, and realistically, I mean, he's putting up double doubles consistently almost every game. He's going to be able, he's not necessarily the highest point total, but when he is able to actually get going, he puts up big numbers. So I think again, I could see him again lower on this list, seeing how he ends up playing this year. But I think realistically, DeAndre Ayton's a guy that does need some of that respect, despite the fact that he does kind of play lazy sometimes.
I don't see that aggression. He's slotted at 53 for me, so barely cracking the top 53. But I like Jaren Jackson more. I like Gobert more than him. You can give me maybe 5 centers that I'd rather have than Da. Just because of that aggression, we haven't seen that out of him. You talked about it. Maybe he turns it around, but after he gets paid, he might take his foot off the gas just a little bit. But I do know he still has stuff to prove. He was in a lot of trade talks. He still has to prove himself to the Suns fan base. So we'll see what he does this year.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think, shoot, I can only think of maybe 4 that I'd rather have over Ian right now. But no, I just again, like I said, I think that this is a guy that, and it might just be a whole potential talk and whatnot, but just the fact that he has so much potential still, that's really what's getting me for DeAndre Ayton. I mean, again, you saw, I mean, back in his college days at Arizona, I mean, he was just again a beast in the paint. He was just a presence. He was known. It was amazing to see. But as of now, again, it just kind of translating that into the NBA mindset, and I think again, I mean, it's gonna finally show himself at some point if he can just kind of get that mindset together.
All right. Well, I don't know about that. You're not even high on the Suns, Kate, but you're high on Da this year.
I'm high on Da, but yeah, you're right. I feel
Okay.
like it's between D Book, CP3, and Da. It's gonna be a good trio for them, but obviously after that, I feel like you can kind of make the argument, or I guess McHale in there too. But after that, you can make the argument that it's not going to be a fantastic looking team. All right, Danny, let's hit 33 now. Who's your
Okay.
33?
33. I don't know if he's too low on this list, Kate. We'll see where you have him, but I got Karl Anthony Towns. His whole career, dominant scorer, dominant rebounder. Finally has a competent roster. With D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, solid team. But they were still only the 7th seed. They took the Grizzlies to 6 games, and that was after they choked like 2 25-point leads. So we still haven't seen Karl Anthony Towns really have that dog factor in him. He doesn't take over games like an Anthony Davis once could do. Even going back like Boogie Cousins, we don't really see Cat like that. So he's kind of low on my list. I've never been the biggest Cat fan just because of that. So he's at 33. What do you think about that?
I do think you got him too low. I think I got him.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I got him much higher than that. And again, I'm not
Okay.
necessarily big on him or
Like
whatnot
I
because I
have
think
Anthony Edwards higher than him.
that's not a terrible take. I mean, personally, I do not, but that's not a terrible take.
Okay.
And the reason being for why I think that is just the fact that as of now, he now has that help with Rudy Gobert. He's going to kind of have some of that pressure taken off him. Obviously, Anthony Edwards still there going to be that help. He put up stats last season. I mean, he put together one of his best
That's all he's
seasons of
done
his
his whole
career.
career. That's the thing. He hasn't done anything else other than put up stats.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're looking at it that way, though, I mean, you've been talking about for a lot of these guys, it's only been up for. I mean, you said it about Shai, you said it about Dejounte.
They're in the same range for me though.
Exactly. That's very true. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you're not wrong there, but I think again, just I'm not necessarily going to No, I wouldn't say I disagree necessarily. I just think that I think he's going to put together a much better year, especially just being in
Okay.
Minnesota, a team that was the 7th seed last year. They're obviously going to be trying to do what they can to make a run. I think they can make a run. I just don't know how successful of a run it's going to be. So, yeah, Karl Anthony Towns, I'll put him. I don't disagree, but I also do kind of disagree, I guess. All right.
Who you got?
For me, again, I mentioned it a little earlier. Two guy, or I guess this guy, Chris Middleton, very similar in my opinion to Drew Holiday. That's why I have him so close on this list right there at 33 and 35. I'll give the nod to Chris Middleton though. I think he's just a better shooter, a better playmaker. He's going to be a guy that I think is going to be a little bit more reliable for that Bucks team, and a guy that I feel like if you could choose between Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton in a position where you're having to score, I'll take Chris Middleton over Drew Holiday. Yeah, I feel like there's not really much said about that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he's a little bit higher than 33, but I have him in the same range ish. He'll be a topic for our next show, Kate. I think you might be sleeping a little bit on Chris.
See,
Just 2
it
years
might
ago,
be.
they took him to the finals. They were just there. He was the number 2 option. You could argue at points he was the number 1 over Giannis at some points in that playoff
maybe
run.
for that Hawks series, but I don't know about that finals series.
Not the finals. In that playoff run, let's just look at last year. What happened when Chris went down?
Yeah, exactly.
And the Bucks. Yeah.
No, and that's why I give him the nod over Drew. I think he is a more reliable player, and I'll give you that one. I think you can definitely put him higher. I just feel that in this position as of now, I mean, I think there's going to be some guys that kind of take that step over him that play for other teams. That's the only reason why I got him a little bit lower on that. But, yeah, let's hit 32 real quick.
32.
I'm interested to see what you got. I think
did you talk about him earlier? I got Darius Garland at 32.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have him? Did you talk about him earlier, Kate?
Yeah, I got him at 39.
39. Okay, so I have him a little bit higher than you do. First All-Star year, like you mentioned, at one point this Cavs team was a 5th seed and Garland was the 1. They finished the 9th seed, but we kind of all saw that coming. But he finally showed the talent and playmaking, scoring ability that he's had. Now he's a number 2. Now that Donovan Mitchell comes into the mix, I'm pretty high on Garland this year. I'm pretty high on the Cavs in general, so I got him at 32.
All right, yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think again he's going to be a very skilled position, a very key position in that Cavs team, being one of the 4 guys that are really going to help that team flourish this season. I mean, we were talking about a little bit off the cameras, but I mean, there's a possibility that you could see Cavs 4, 5 are finishing right around there at the end of the season. I think the teams I had ahead of them as of now are Miami, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. Make the argument for Brooklyn. But yeah, they're looking like a very solid team now. And Darius Garland is going to be a major factor in that rebuild in this sense. So yeah, no, that's not a terrible take. I agree that you could definitely have him higher than 39, and that's why you got him at 32. For me, 32. I want to say, again, a similar situation. I think you mentioned him last episode. I think this is going to be a guy that's going to be a number 2 option for a very hopeful playoff team in the West. He's going to be right behind Zion. I got Brandon Ingram. The way that he played in the postseason last year, he was a dominating offensive figure. He got that mid-range. He got that mid-range down very well. I gave him that little nickname of the mid-range maestro during this, that playoff run. And then I think he's going to be a guy again with Zion coming back in. Hopefully, he's going to be forced to take that number 2 spot, but that's going to be a very reliable number 2 spot for this Pelicans team. And again, he's a guy again coming from the Lakers. Kind of showed himself his true colors when he moved to the New Orleans Pelicans, and now with Zion, he's going to be a very key factor when it comes to bringing a playoff run to New Orleans.
Okay, I like it. I have him 44. I do think I'm a little too low on him. I have CJ over him. I don't know. I don't know if I
Yeah,
even agree
see,
with
and that's what I'm.
my
That's exactly,
yeah. I don't know. I
exactly.
might have to mix that up, but I do definitely have
that's
Zion above Bi. I'm pretty big on Zion this year, so that's why he's not higher for me. But I completely agree that if Bi just improves his 3-point shooting, maybe a little bit on the defensive side, he could be a top 25 player. We'll see what the Pelicans can do this year.
Yeah, and exactly. And that size does help him a lot. I mean, he is a shooter, working that inside or kind of close to the paint, not the paint, but like that just a mid range shot. And again, as you mentioned, if you can get that 3 set in a position where he's making threes, I mean, he's going to be a dangerous player, especially when the playoffs come around. All right, last one for this episode. We'll hit 31.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee you with my pick, you're going to be a little bit probably disappointed if we're being honest here, but I think this is now. Real quick, I do want to mention this too. We're at 31. I think 30 and up, it's going to get real interesting because I feel like there's a lot of guys on that list that are going to be just key factors on the teams they play for. But yeah, let's hear 31 for you.
31K. I think I'm ending off on a hot take, so I'm interested to see what you're going to say. But at one point, this player just 3 years ago, probably was a top 5 player in the league. I have him at 31 now because I can't get the last playoff series out of my mind. And can you guess who that is?
Oh shoot! Okay, last playoff series.
He pooped the bed. He didn't do anything. He used to be a top 5 player. Now I got him at 31.
Jesus Christ, I'm trying to think. What round was it in?
I think second round. Yeah,
second round. Okay, so what we got? I know we got Warriors, Memphis. We have. Oh shoot! What was the other one? It was
shooting guard. At one traded to a new team.
Traded to a new team. I'm trying to think. Okay, hold up.
Was supposed to take him over the hump. Couldn't do it, and that's James Harden.
Okay. I could see that for sure.
I'm interested to see where you have him, but only 18, 7, and 6 in that series versus Miami. Last 2 games, minus 29, minus 16. He's only getting older. We don't know how many pounds he's putting on. He had the lowest points per game with the Sixers at 21 points per game, which is it's not bad. But at this point, Kate, everyone and their mom in the NBA can score 21 points per game. It feels like that's his lowest points per game since 2012, which was his last year in OKC. He's still one of the best distributors, passers in the entire league. He averages 10 and a half assists per game last year. But the fact that I just don't see him as, a dominant one anymore, he's not higher on this list for me, and that's why he's at 31.
No, you convinced me there. I have him a lot higher on this. Well, not a lot higher, but we'll be talking about him next episode for me. Yeah, no, I agree. I think his age is definitely starting to show. He's not putting up the same stats he was realistically since Houston. I mean, Houston was that last time he was really putting up good stats. Even with Brooklyn, he was kind of inconsistent in some ways, and at the same time, not even healthy most of the time. So, no, I could definitely see that. It's interesting. I mean, I'm looking at my list now. Like I said, I have him in next episode, but I mean, you definitely convinced me that I should probably have him a little lower here too.
Okay,
I'm not a huge fan. Again, like I said, I think he's definitely regressing a lot, and I don't see him really making a huge impact in Philadelphia this year. So no, I don't disagree with that. I don't think that's a hot take at all. Now with mine might be a hot take, especially as of recently. And really, see, it kind of sucks that I can't change this list up now because I think I would definitely put him higher at this point, knowing where he's at. I'm going Donovan Mitchell though. He's going to be a fantastic guard on any team. I mean, yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. And I think it was just because of the fact that he was with Utah at the time I made this list. Because again, I mean, playing in Utah, I wouldn't have been surprised if he takes that step back just because he doesn't want to be on that team anymore. He doesn't really want to be a contributing factor for a team that has no intention on finding success right now. Now, I mean, again, going to Cleveland, going to a better team, I want to put him higher on this list. I feel like just his stats are going to be able to really complement players like Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, Jared Allen really well. I mean, you saw how well he played when he was with Rudy Gobert. Obviously, I know there were some conflicts between the two, but again, I mean, well, I'm just going. Realistically, I'm just going off what I had when I first made this list. I'd put him higher now. I'd honestly even realistically, I'd even switch where Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are on my list at this point.
Okay,
But
that's good.
yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I think with Donovan Mitchell, the only thing that also kind of brings him down to this low, in my opinion, is that like by the time you get to the 20s, those are all like undisputed top 20 players. 20 through 25 are kind of up in the air. You can maybe make the argument for top 20. You can make the argument that they could be lower. And I feel like Donovan Mitchell, again, just kind of like being in that gray area of who knows how he's going to be able to perform in Utah when he has no help and he doesn't really have the motivation to be there where he was going to be. But again, like I said, now I would definitely put him higher, though.
All right. Okay, I'm glad you had a change of heart because, Kate, I was about to come at you. Kate, how long has he been taking the Jazz to the playoffs by himself? Not even a true number 2 option. In the West, he's been carrying the Jazz to a 5 seed every year. It feels like the past 6 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been, or a 5 seed. They're the 1 seed in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, they were up there. And granted, I mean, yeah, he was that key contributor to that Jazz team over the past few seasons. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year a few times. I mean, he's a good center. Don't get me wrong.
Not
but
a
again,
number 2.
like I said, oh, yeah, no, I agree. I think, especially in these past few seasons, Rudy Gobert has done such an insignificant amount for what he really could do in Utah. I mean, again, like I said, Defensive Player of the Year, but didn't have that offense. And part of the reason why they were doing so well was because of the matchups with his offense and his defense and Donovan Mitchell's offense. But like I said, with that Utah team kind of just vacating the building, that's part of the reason why I have him as low on this list. But again, now seeing what he's with Cleveland, seeing he's got the help, seeing he's got a real good team built around him, I think you can definitely put him higher on this list. At least for me. I mean, it's not even a question you can put him higher on this list, but I'm just going off what I got when I first put it out. So, but no,
right.
yeah, for sure.
Fair enough. Right, I actually forgot they were the 1 seed 2 years ago. That was just 2 years ago.
Yeah,
wow.
I was gonna say
feels like a long time ago.
Lost to the Clippers in the second round. I mean, that one 6
Trey
or 7
Manning
games. Yeah, Trey Manning. That's right. Because of what Kawhi and PG were both dealing with or Kawhi obviously, but PG I think was dealing with some stuff too. But that was
Trey Manning, Reggie Jackson game. Now I remember.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
what a good basketball games. Yeah,
that was. That was a big comeback for that Clippers team too in that game.
Yeah,
I mean, that was insane. But Danny, you got
who
any
did they
more
lose
thoughts?
to the next round? Who did the Clippers lose to? Do you remember?
Suns.
Was it the Suns?
Yeah, because that was in the Western Conference Finals.
Everyone saw that coming. Yeah, everyone saw that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. So no, that was a great. I mean, it might just be because I'm a Suns fan, but that 2021 postseason was electric to me.
That was a fun run.
Oh, for sure. All right, Dan, you got any more thoughts?
Real quick, do you remember what seed the Suns were that year?
2.
Oh, good memory. Yeah,
I think
I forgot they were the
correctly,
2 seed. Yeah, one game behind.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I want to say it was what Jazz were the 1, Suns 2. I know Lakers were 7. I want to say it was Dallas at the 5, Clippers at the 4, Denver at the 3, and then
who was 6? This is gonna be a hard one. 6. You've nailed them all. 6 is a team that didn't make the playoffs this past year.
6. They would have been playing Denver, which was our second round matchup.
Ooh, that was a fun series. Someone stepped out of bounds, if you remember.
Oh shoot! Okay, wait, hold on.
Stepped out of bounds to lose the game.
They didn't.
The last game.
They didn't make it this year.
No, they didn't.
Not even as a plan.
Nope.
Oh shoot! Okay.
He stepped out of bounds in the last game of the series with like 15 seconds left, and that's how they lost.
Oh god. Okay, hold up. I got to think about this.
Oh, it's a great series.
I know that's what screwed me over. My mind leads towards Houston, but I don't think it is.
No,
it's not
the Trailblazers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good series. Okay, yeah, I forgot about Portland and that. I mean,
hey, good memory though, Kate. I'm impressed. You got all those teams.
And then the 8 was Memphis that year.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, I know. That's again, that's a very special postseason to me. So there's a reason why I remember that stuff. But Yeah, and then real quick, actually, I want to get your opinions on it. Hey, Conley to LA, how you feeling about that one?
Ooh, hey, we knew we had something worked up. Conley, how did you do last year with the Jazz? I'm gonna pull up his stats right now.
I want
I
to say
feel
he
like
spent a significant amount of the season injured, but
yeah,
he wasn't terrible. I mean, if it wasn't, I think you got to give Jordan Clarkson that easy six man, but he was right there at 7, a reliable bench player. I mean, he was all right. Or was he
I
even on
don't
the
know.
bench?
He was a starter. He started at point guard.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
13
that's
points per
makes sense.
game, 5 assists. I don't know.
I was gonna say,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like I just
I don't know if he's
again,
taking them over the top. Honestly,
no, not at all.
you
I was
know.
gonna say, I
But
remember maybe that's why I was just thinking, considering that he was injured, that he was just coming off the bench. But yeah, that's weird though now with the Lakers because what now they're working with Westbrook, Pat Bev, Conley. I feel like there's a really weird mix of players right there.
I know.
Like a really like I mean, you got 3 guys that are like pretty much in their like just I don't want to say falling off, but like they're definitely past their prime.
Hey, but if we can get what's his name, Bogdanovich, then now we're talking. I'll take Conley if it comes with Bogdanovich, bro.
I mean, yeah, keep dreaming, my guy. It should be a good season for y'all. If y'all stay healthy, I'm not counting y'all out, but it's going to be an interesting season for you guys.
We'll
At
see.
least I'm going to say that. And season's
Hey,
coming up too.
better team. Cavs or the Lakers?
Cavs, easy.
Right, I agree.
I was going to say I don't think that's
Even with
yeah,
AD and
that's
LeBron, right?
even yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
God, even
No
then though, like
depth.
AD and
Yeah,
LeBron
no
make a good
depth.
duo.
Westbrook's still there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many, and like, there's not really many good things to look at outside of AD and LeBron. Who'd you guys get as a coach this year? Was it God, who
Darvin
was it
Ham.
from
He's
the
a
Warriors,
motivator
right?
guy. Ham, I think he was from the Pistons. He's like a player coach. He's really young.
Okay.
Let me look that up. Oh no, he was on the
Oh no,
Bucks for a
yeah,
while.
Bucks. That's right. That's right. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember that now. Okay. I mean,
Mhm.
that's solid. We'll have to see how that goes. I mean, we all know LeBron's going to be the head coach there, but he's going to be a good figurehead, for that team. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But and again, like, just going back to the West, I mean, that's just it's really a coin flip when it comes to where teams can end up at the end of the season. Like it's going to be all a very tight race. I think you can only maybe give me like 3 teams that I could see like you can make like a for sure argument not making the playoffs. Outside of that, I mean, you're talking at least 12 of those teams having a shot to find some sort of playoff run in them.
Okay, I'm not feeling too good about this year. Okay, we got to see what we're gonna do with Westbrook, and then we can get into it. I'm excited. AK, we're gonna have to do a full season prediction before the season starts. I feel like
Oh, 100%.
seeds,
I
MVP, Depoy, all of that.
I
Because
was saying that's I'll run the idea or not the idea, but the kind of plan down that I did with you with the people viewing. That's kind of like where I had it set up. We wanted to start the top 50 players, go through that 5-part list, and then right after we get done with that top 10 for us, we've got one more week of the true off season, and that's why I want to get into
perfect.
I get into all that stuff, all the predictions, the real like down to earth predictions, or not down to earth, but just the real predictions and whatnot. And then the week after that is going to be game week, so we're going to be right there, ready to go.
Ooh, okay, it's lining up perfect for us, Kate. You're a
Exactly.
genius.
So I was going to say we're right on track with all this. So we're
I'm
set.
excited.
All right.
Hold on,
Any
wait.
last
Hey,
thoughts?
when are we live on Blaze? Did you check?
Oh yeah, we got Mondays at 10. So not obviously
Mondays
not
at
today,
10.
but next Monday we'll be
Okay.
live on Blaze.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll be getting. I mean, pretty much giving the viewers the same video, same audio and whatnot, just on a different platform. So I guess tune into Blaze as well. Here's talking about it again. So it'll be all worth it. All right, Danny. Any last thoughts?
Nothing. Fun show as usual, Cade. We got into it a little bit, and I think it's only going to get worse from here.
Oh,
Honestly, I got some
really?
hot
You
takes
think
lined
so?
up.
Because okay, I was
I
gonna say you
got
might
some
have some
hot
hot
takes.
takes, but I feel like again, like this is kind of one of those points where it's like now
Well,
you're starting to
we're
get
gonna
into the
start
real
nitpicking
players.
though. We're gonna start nitpicking, like
Oh yeah,
who you have at
100%.
5 and 7. So yeah,
No,
it's
one
only gonna
hundred
get more
percent.
fun. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. But all right, we thank you guys for joining in tonight. Of course, tune in next week. We'll be going over picks 30 through 21. again, kind of winding down as the season draws even closer. There's not much to be said. Just have a good night, enjoy yourselves, and make the best out of this week.